This is where it all sits, in this little barn in the middle of nowhere, Florida. And here we are in the fish room. I wanted to give you guys this tour. This is going to be the dirty tour because I have not cleaned it yet. As many of you guys may have seen, I built this huge enclosure outside, which I have videos of. You guys can check them out. There's this one and also this one. Check out the channel, LRB Aquatics. And so I spent a whole year building all that, which meant a lot of this fish room did not get the attention it really deserved because I needed to build my setup because I needed grow out space. Believe it or not, even having this many tanks, and no, I do not have any helpers, and I do this all by myself pretty much for the most part. Lady LRB does help with doing boxes and shipping, but for the most part, all this is on me as far as taking care of and maintenance. Lots of mouths to feed. So, saying that, I'm going to show you what it looks like before I clean it all up, because Lady LRB and me do plan on working on it, and she is going to help me out, which should help get me a kickstart back to where things kind of need to be. Now, I must say, bear with me and don't judge me too much on how they look, because this is what the water looks like that I get in this fish room. So in here is the utility room, and you can see my sink is absolutely coated with iron rust. That's what I get in here. And I do have a water change system where this flows in water. It's not automatic. It is all kind of manual still. That way I can control it. And you can see the filters are filthy, but that's the water I'm working with. I do always make sure to keep this door shut because the sun will cause more algae on the glass of these. So some of these have algae on the glass, some do not. I didn't even scrape algae. So what you're seeing, like these tanks that don't have algae, these have not been scraped for a long time. So they have been homeostasis for more than a year. Although it's been a year since I've shown you guys and since I really got in here to do a video, these have been set up for multiple years. It's been about 4 years now, over 4 years since we started rebuilding all this. I actually had a whole fish room in Indiana, which we're in Florida now, and ended up selling that. There's a video where I sold that fish room as well as the backyard landscape, aquascape I did. Yeah, but moved down here, spent all our money on this, had no money to rebuild, so I had to rebuild bit by bit. I had 50 aquariums, which were my spare aquariums, because that's how many spare aquariums I still had. Drug them down here. They were all on the floor, and we literally built from the ground up, and it has taken some time. But you know what? We're here. We're still doing it. I absolutely love it. I'm more into it now than I have ever been. And I want to thank you guys all for helping me with this journey, for those who have supported me. So big shout out to you guys. But starting off, this is the guppy inler section. This is the rainbow section. And some of these are mixed. They're not fully. And then also we've got the fry section, which is that whole back wall. This is the shrimp area. This is what I consider the auxiliary, which is mostly axolotls now and inlers, you guys will see. And then this is the lab plus what's back behind it. And of course the goldfish here, and then multiple tanks, which this will kind of be a quick overview video. We're not going to get too deep in some of these because those will be separate videos in themselves. And then this was going to be the cichlid area, but then it's just a whole hodgepodge. Now, I was wanting to do the cleanup before this video, but I'm kind of glad I ended up going to the Chattanooga swap, and I will be at the Atlanta swap as well. Big reason why I haven't gotten to it yet. So I do farm this stuff out. I help share. I try to stack it deep, sell it cheap. So you can check it out, LRBAquatics.com. And I will also be at the Aquashellas in Chicago and New Jersey. But let's go ahead and start down here. Oh, there you see a little mud dauber went flying by. They get in every once in a while. There's actually crack here in the ceiling, so things do get in between. It's kind of a wild barn. I honestly kind of like it that way. Makes it more lively. There's a frog that lives in here. Sounds like a monkey every once in a while. We've got the Dadrio, the Eisenai, or what are these? These are the rainbow Goodeids. Shoot, I can't even remember the name of these. I guess first fish, I can't even remember the name of it. But it is a libraire, a Goodeid. Beautiful, beautiful colors on them. Only the males get the color on them, and the females not so much. We got Luigi Archeata, huge mat of Crypt Parva, which that's a big parva. I've actually kept that mat, let's see, for about 7 years now. Slow growing. Up above them, we've got these Cernurgo rainbow fish. Hiding on back there. Now I did have a group of these, and now I only have one male, or 2 males, 1 female, and they do breed. There was like 5 males and 1 female. The female luckily is still going strong. She always has. The other males just kind of died out here and there. Could have just been natural causes, hard telling. But it's got a huge mat of Crypt Nuri, which there was a bunch of guppy grass that was kind of eating it and killing it. You can see there's some vow there, which I need to get rid of that because that can cause competition. See it running here and become a problem with this mat and cause it to melt and do other things. So that needs to be addressed. I have been kind of cleaning this out. This was full of plants, and they did end up leaving me little babies up here at the top all the time. But you see, this is what I mean, is I can sit here and get into a tank and really talk about it for a long time. But you can see all the microorganisms, all the little things living in that water. But I would literally just scoop babies off the top, put them somewhere else, which you'll see them here soon. And I am trying to make this as quick as possible. There will be more videos coming that will get more in depth, but I want to try to at least make this only an hour. But anyways, here are these are like Dalmatian mollies, but with a red tail. It's the Chenopes. Pretty rare. They ended up breeding a lot for me outside at one point. There was a bit of predation on them. Inside, they just haven't been real prolific. Not really sure why. Maybe because lack of water changes. Probably biggest reason. Because also while I was doing all that building, I wasn't doing a whole lot of water changes in here. But next to them, hard to see with the glare, I ain't gonna do them any justice, is the Melanitania goldii decai. There, you can kind of see them a little better. And they are in a huge mat of Brazilian pennywort. You can see the dried up stuff to where it didn't keep wet, you know. Couldn't handle outside of the tank. And then there's actually a bunch of Wassertang in here as well. I need to move these guys. These guys will end up going down here more than likely. That way I can get some babies out of there and then do something different. Another reason why I wanted to show this to you guys is I do actually plan on moving a lot of fish around this time. Some of them I'm just gonna sell, and some of them are gonna go outside. And I gotta do a lot of consolidating on things. More organizing in here. But here we've got avocado puffers. There's 4 of them. As well as trying to get my Taiwan lilies back up again. If you guys have been following my channel for a long time, you know this used to be full of Taiwan lily. The bladder snails in here got so bad they ate all of my Taiwan lily down, and hence why I've got puffers in here now. We get rid of all them snails and get the Taiwan lilies going back again. And I'll probably just hop rainbow fish out of it, because this isn't just for show. A lot of this is for breeding stuff and why I need so many tanks. And you know, I do this for the hobby, especially just to learn and show people that there is other ways to do it, and things that, you know, aren't really taught normally. Here are Pagai Village rainbow fish. Also, once again, some of these are old. Some of these have been old before they even got in here. But it actually started with just a few, and they ended up colony breeding in here over the years. Which, once again, I would just pull babies straight off the top here. Full Brazilian pennywort. I heard recently some people say rainbow fish, the mold will cause disease on them. And that's just, never heard that or seen that in my life until recently. Some of the new stuff people are saying online is pretty crazy, especially to me, which they try to blame things on, and I don't know. There's a lot to learn in this hobby, that's for sure. You can do this hobby for hundreds of years and still be learning. Here are my starburst endlers. Tons of them. These are 20-gallon highs. Here's some rainbow tiger antlers in here. Not very many. I don't know where the males are. Usually I don't have very many females, but here's some of the males. These rainbow tiger antlers are sick. Which these are more second gen rainbow tiger antlers. The 2.0s. Same thing over here. 2.0s. We got a purple mosaic guppy. This is all on the guppy antler section. We've got the lime green antlers. So they're like the wild black bar, just more green. We got the red and black koi guppies. Random female. Where's your male buddy? Oh, he's way back there. He's a split tail. So you can see him way back there. Sorta. This one's empty. This one's empty. El Silverados. Once again. Oh, you guys saw them earlier. And this one's dirty. Split tails. More rainbow tiger antlers. More rainbow tiger antlers. Empty. El Silverado antlers. El Silverado antlers. You'll notice I got multiple of a lot of tanks. Especially if I got a good line of something, I will back it up with a backup of a backup. Although I do not have tanks crash on me normally. Maybe once a year, one will, and it'll be due to me overfeeding it and being the problem. The only problem I have with these tanks is overfeeding sometimes, where I just screw up, or somebody else does. Purple mosaic guppies, even though that one's not very purple. Got started reverting some red. These guys have been very, very slow for me to breed. They come from the Thai breeders. I don't know what it is about those. They tend to be harder to breed for me. Then these are some red endlers, and you can see I got a ton of them, because I honestly do not know the name of them. So any of you guys know which endlers these are? Are they just red-chested endlers, or what's the name? And they're pretty neat. I need to get them on the website. Then over here is a mix of Gingarubas, those red-chested ones, and some split tails. So I was kind of doing a little hodgepodge, see what was going on. Got more split tails in here. More of the albino color. Then over here, Oh, you could also see there's a lot of plants up top as well. Maybe we'll get a lady LRB to give us a full tour of what's on there, and then we'll put that on the channel. But I do love this fern. It's the only one that really gets to go in the tank, because I have learned with some of these plants, as they break down, they can cause problems into aquariums. So when they're alive, they're just fine. But if the leaves get in there and they break down over time, and they release enough stuff in a no filter aquarium that hardly gets any water changes, it can actually cause problems for some of the fish. But this fern's not really one of those, so it does get to live in the water, and I'm a sucker for ferns. These are Dalmatian guppies. These are actually one of my favorites. These are the magical Dalmatian guppies. They get this real nice sheen on them. That guy doesn't really have the spots. So it is going more towards the pastels. So that's another thing with guppies. If you do not keep working them, other genes can revert back from what originated them to begin with over time. These are red dragon mosaic guppies. Here we got pingu guppies. Once again, why you need multiple tanks, which I have multiple tanks of those. Here we got the pingu guppies. Absolutely one of my favorites. Pink, blue, yellow. Same thing over here, pingu guppies. Where you guys at? Hello? Where are they? Why are my fish missing out of this tank? Guys? I do not see one. No, there's a female, big female up here. Unless the frog got in here or something. Huh, weird. I know there was more than one female. Unless they're hiding in the rocks. I don't know, that's weird for me. But anyways, more pingus down here. So I do got them backed up either way. We got some red snakes here. Looks like there's only a couple males, few males. They were very male heavy. I've got more down here. Once again, this has not been organized for quite some time. White lace guppies, lots of those. This is a albino white lace guppy, which doesn't really have the albino eyes. I guess it's more of a xanthic form of the white lace guppies. See, there's a regular male. There's a xanthic form. Which that's why I love endlers and guppies. There is a lot of things you can do genetically, kind of like the Medacas. Once again, more white lace guppies. More white lace guppies. Got tons of those, real prolific line. So sticking a deep selling those cheap. Albinos, looks like a bunch of males. What do you guys do with your female? And you can see that one in the middle, kind of getting that antler tail. Because if you don't pull them out for finnage, they will eventually get smaller fins. But here's all the females, I guess, over here with this stud. They haven't really been dropping much for me. Yellow and albino guppies can be a real pain to breed. They predate real hard. And here I've got the blue guppy. It's like the blue-green guppy. Then more, or no, what is this one? Oh, this was gonna be a dragon mosaic combination, but they really have not dropped anything for me. Could be lack of water changes. More white lace guppies. So with guppies and endlers, what I've learned, some lines will go bananas, some lines, not so much. You can see all this artificial breeding stuff here I got. Look how many loofahs. This is for outside. I'm gonna try to use those as spotting mops for some things. Maybe these for danios and tetras. Because keeping plants outside, it just grows way out of control, too much for me to handle. A lot like what goes on in here. If I were to be on consistent water changes, going full-blown ferts, everything else, I would never be able to keep up with it all. So, another reason why I keep these aquariums like I do. Oh, and I guess I didn't even mention this whole time. You guys hear in here, there is no air. It's all no filter. And it's nice and peaceful. I absolutely love it. All right, let's keep this ball rolling. Up here, I've got the Glossolepis maculosus rainbow fish. Rare rainbow fish, still pretty rare. Although I have released them years ago. A bunch of Java moss in there. And up underneath them, we have 40 gallon of mixed guppies, and this is all males. That way they don't breed. These are kind of like whenever I'll get male heavy on something, I'll put them in here. That guy, he's freaking awesome. Love that tank. I love male only guppy tanks. Nice little moss in there. Can't remember what moss that is. I think that might be Taiwan. Underneath here, we got a breeding group of Cernergo rainbow fish, and this is what they look like more on a lighter substrate. Also what I call skinny Sagittaria, so this is like the Sagittaria plant. Not like Vallisneria. Here you can actually see where it's more crowned than like Vallisneria would be. The root structure is different, the stem is different, but absolutely beautiful plant. That tank itself is kind of a show tank in its own regard. Then here on the other side of them is a bit of a hodgepodge. We've got the rainbow dwarf neons down here. Beautiful group, spawning breeding group. I have tried some new spawning whelps in here. See if they work better as far as egg collection. I do find it hard to get eggs from these guys if there's anything else but a spawning mop. So it's either I gotta move them out or I will find babies on the top, because actually here's one swimming around there. So I just pick him up with the deli cup and put him elsewhere. And then we got Melanitaneous Cernergos, another breeding group down there. Next gen, I like to mix my generations. That way it deepens the gene pool as I breed them further down the line. Once again, well, you'll see multiple tanks of stuff. We got the Glossolepis maculosus. Being all shy. Little shy guys. That one's got a lot of red on him. And then empty. This has Pseudomugule Aru 2s. I don't know if we'll be able to see them because, well, they just got this huge thing of pearlweed. A couple of them. And we got babies of them. Where'd you go? He was just up here. Either way, there's babies of those in there. Pseudomugule Aru 2s. You'll see them here because I've got more. So we got those growing out. Those are about ready to go out. Breeding group, another breeding group, Aru 2. This one's empty, this one's empty. Actually need to be swapped around. I may end up slowing my Aru 2 breeding project. This is mostly all them. I may switch to something like the maculosus. I feel like there's enough of these. This Daphnia tank, which I need to get rid of all the plants in here and start working the snails down to make my Daphnia, I believe, have more numbers than it has recently. Especially with this plant right here is actually a predatory plant that is native and local. I actually got that from the soil that's in here. All the substrate in these aquariums are actually from my yard. Here, you can look at it. It's pretty gnarly looking. Let's see if I can get the reflection. There, you can kind of see it there. It's all nice and settled. This has been settled a long time. Look at that, all the iron at the bottom. Settled at the bottom, it's crazy. But this plant actually popped up from that soil. Once again, Daphnia dirty because it's my Daphnia tank. There you can see. Focus camera, focus. Next is some yellow shrimp, crypt, red metallic crypt, then also Daphnia. And then above them is how I feed my Daphnia. So I got some goldfish in here. They make my grain water for me. Then I'll siphon that down into those tanks. And so that's kind of a functioning Daphnia system for myself. And in here, I don't know if we're gonna see him. There is an axolotl in here. He's got like the weirdest color. It's like a champagne kind of color. Not quite pink. Oh, I kind of see his tail back here. See his tail. He's about ready to get out of there. Empty. Empty. There's a red koi guppy experiment I was trying to do. She is a older lady. And same here, older lady. I was hoping to have things happen with these guys because they get these like ranchu heads on them. I was trying to breed that out, but they didn't really breed for me. So once they get a certain age, they can be hard to breed. And another breeding group of dwarf neons. So that settles us for this section, the full antler and rainbows. And that will bring us over to this next section of the shrimp island here in the middle, which actually I'm not a big fan of because the 20 longs go that way, and for shrimp it's not that great. So I haven't focused a lot of my time on my shrimp because of that, and have been doing a lot of fish. But I do plan on hopefully fixing that here in the future, because this is kind of like the starter fish room for what I really want to build on the other side of this barn, which would be a whole new barn for like conserving more of the rare species, having more space for them. And once that gets done and all that, a lot of things are going to change for a lot of people as far as just things I'll be able to do to help others. But anyways, we'll get there hopefully here sooner than later, because I got some big ideas. Marcella minuta, there's some bovitis in there. Nice, beautiful, beautiful mat. Look how that's growing on that back wall there. And I have been pulling out of this so the water looks a little more dingy, because I have to kick stuff up. Then also, one of the rarest crypts, or the rarest crypt I have, and good luck finding it anywhere, is the Cryptocorn Ferrigenia Silver Purple Queen. Oh, here you can kind of see the silver and purple on these leaves back here. But underneath the right light, right conditions, it really, really gets beautiful. It's been a slow grower though, a real slow grower. I've actually had this in here for a couple of years now, and I mean, granted it's got a lot to compete with, but I don't know. It's got a nice mat. Either way, it's growing. I'm not moving it. We're kind of going together. And in here, we've got trout goodeids, the little babies. They're kind of growing out. There is a couple big ones in there. So I need to get my big ones out and put them in with my next colony. You can see more of the little ones. So I got some of those growing out. Up above them, we've got the blue dream shrimp and the Sarawak crip, which I wish the reflection and focus would work like it should. So I am trying not to edit too much on this. But check that out. Some of these plants are just ginormous. Like this one in the middle, I'll never pick. The thing's like this wide. Super, super old. It took me years to get this tank like that. There is a lot of blue dream in there. If anybody knows about my blue dreams, you guys know I spend a lot of time and care to have really consistent blue dreams. Oh, this phone. You see they're all consistent. All right, next to them, we've got Luigi archeata and a pretty rare rainbow fish, the Melanitania classioensis. They hit off, they were there. I don't know if they're gonna let us see them or not. These guys are fairly pretty wild. They get like more of a red into them. Rare one. I'm not gonna try too hard because the more I do, the more I mess up the breeding. And then over here we've got the corkscrew valve with a ton, I mean ton of Vienna guppies in here. Focus. There you can see them. And next to them, got a little Daniel breeding project. There's some little Daniel in there, another little Daniel. I had them in this basket, they all escaped, and now they all just run amok in here. So I've got to redo all this and catch them out. These are glow light Daniels, and then there's also the gold ring Daniels in there. And one of my biggest problems with filming this is the reflection, but I can't ever cover these because I've got to feed them all. And when it comes to feeding, it's all about timing, because the better I could do the feeding time, the more I can keep as far as fish husbandry goes. And down here, I've got some tangerine tigers. Cool little Caridina shrimp. And here there is some orange shrimp. It's supposed to be, I'm not really seeing much. Nothing in there. It's supposed to be some orange shrimp in here. Not really seeing anything. Oh, there's one, but it's not very orange. So that line, I don't know. I've been trying to find a good orange line, really haven't. One that I didn't have to work with too much. This one's empty, so you're seeing a trend here. A lot of my shrimp tanks are empty because I don't know what to do with them, because I don't really have the time to like line them out. Like, I have some things that I have lined out over time before that I don't have to worry about lining out so much. So I do have those, but as far as like getting new ones, just, I don't know, I haven't really got into it. So this whole section, I don't know, I may end up doing something different with it. But there's fire reds in here, there's fire reds in here. You can see them all over, super red too. Like these, I don't have to worry about lining these out. These are what they are. They're legit. You know, that one's got a nice shrilly right there that popped out. Then here we got the yellow King Kong. You also get the headless horseman gene in them. Nice Aphanis crypt with some Wasser tang. There we go. If I could just get that contrast to stay like that. Let me see if I can lock this real quick. Here we go. Here we got some endlers. Oh, that doesn't work. I'm not really sure what these are because this is something I was kind of working with genetically. You can see where it does have rainbow tiger antler blood. Because I did have albino rainbow tiger antlers in here before. But then they're mixed with like this, I don't even know what you would call these guys. It's kind of like pinkish, whitish. But anyways, little breeding project. I got a lot of these. Actually, a lot of those. Tank needs some love. Look at that algae growing in there. It's bananas. It's all dying off brown. So I am going to go through, clean and clear a lot of these tanks out. That way we can see into them more, make them more functional, because some of them are just way overgrown. This is a white lace albino guppy, which once again, not really albino, just a xanthic form. And then we got tangerine tigers here. Then empty, and then up top, empty, 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 empty. Just because those are just kind of hard to get to, and especially for shrimp, not really gonna mess with this. So, I mean, I do have room in here, and you guys will see quite a few empty tanks because I do still have stuff outside. So when it becomes winter time, some of that stuff's gotta come in here. And I'm not trying to fill these up yet because when I have to collect everything from outside and bring it in, I want to be able to have space for it. But up here on the other end, we've got 40 gallons on this end cap as well. These guys housing the blue neon rainbow fish. Some of their young, nice little group. I hoard these guys. I don't know why I do, but I do. Swordtails, mollies. Nice little combo, and you'll notice this is the only tank besides my goldfish tank that I have duckweed in. Then down below it is these swords. Oh, here's one. Hopefully I don't scare them off. But there's these Berlin, they're like Berlin swords, but they're like marbled. There, you can kind of see the color. You get some wild markings on them. Which, I'm just a sucker for swordtails. And then below them, there's actually a black Dalmatian molly in there, some trumpet snails, nothing much. I did put some Bloody Marys in here, but for some reason, they didn't really take off. I don't know why. I might have just thought about putting them in there and didn't. But the snails, trumpet snails like crazy in there. Above them, I've got the Caudal Punctatus Tanzanican cichlid. A whole big group of them. There was a ton more in here, but I have been selling them. And there is still some online for sale. I think I may have like 12 more I'm gonna sell. A cool little Tanzanican cichlid, kind of like a shell dweller, but they can live in caves also. That's what this is, lime rock cave that I had created from what was in the yard. We got Italian Val up there. And then here on the other side, once again, remember this is the dirty tour. Why a lot of these tanks are dirty is because it has been a long time since I messed with them. But once again, top up here, empty. Over here, we kind of got a hodgepodge of shrimp. Just a mixture of just culls that I've had here and there. And we've got blue dreams, more blue dreams. What is that, Nuri Crip? It's like more of the Sarawak Crip. Bloody Marys, tons of Bloody Marys. See, the Bloody Marys love it when the tank gets like that. Or, well, any shrimp, really. They love that dirty glass. Then same over here, Bloody Marys. Doesn't present as well, though, because it's nothing but a huge forest of tiger val, which is like Italian val, where it gets more striped color. See all the striping in it? I have some that get really predominant. With the right light, the striping can get really gnarly. Then underneath it, we've got a huge snail tank, just loaded with trumpet snails mostly, a lot of ram's horns. And there is actually some orange eye blue tigers in here. I'm not sure if we're gonna see, because there isn't many, and they haven't been breeding. They've been in here for a long time, but there is a couple still left in there. Next to them, we've got the blue dreams. Lots and lots of blue dream with, I don't know, the perm curl algae. The algae is pretty crazy. Then empty, more nuri, roots. Don't worry, those aren't worms, those are roots. Then under here is some green jades, which this is more of a line. Has been worked a little bit. There's a lot of blues and browns still in it, so I don't really sell them. Under here, we've got the Marsillia minuta. Marsillia minuta, and sorry for all that unfocusing. My camera does not have any aptitude of what's going on. Blue dream, blue dream, blue dream, blue dream. So I do got lots of blue dreams. LRB.com. That covers it for the shrimp section over there, which I guess will lead us over into this back fry section, which back here is just, I think there's around 80 some 20-gallon longs, this was my original fry grow out space and for what can go out. Now I do have these pumps over here inside here that I could not get plumbed out, so I do have a little bit of a blockade, but for me that doesn't bother me. I can take them out. Otherwise I would just have them pumped straight out. That's what the rest of them do, but since they were island pieces, that's how I had to do this. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. There is a video on the whole water change where I have the outflow and then the inflow. So let's get on down this way. And since this fry rack has so many tanks, I am going to try to blow through this because we are close to the hour mark. But once again, we'll have more, showing more here in the future. We got SBEs down there. SBEs, which are starburst endlers. There's some CPDs in here. They're way back in the back. We're probably not gonna see them. Dwarf neons. I've got some Cali rum rainbow fish down there. I got a Cali rum rainbow fish in this dirty old tank. Oh, you see, he's swimming there. I don't know why this biofilm is like that in that tank, but it always kind of has been. All the other ones, not so bad. But for some reason, that tank, maybe something in it got into it at some point. It's always been like that. And then we got the Pagai Village, rainbow fish grow out. Black yellow guppies growing out. Synergos, rainbows fish growing out. We've got random endler. I think there's a random rainbow fish in there. We got some of the steak endlers growing out in here. These did have Synergos, Some platinum rice fish. These were OG rice fish that I had from the move. These guys are old, super old. And so they're kind of living their life out here. I don't really want to mix them out with the ones I have right now because I had worked those lines for reasons. Some Sudamugul Aru 2 males. I'm gonna have some extra males more than likely. We'll have to get those on site. If any of you guys want any Sudamugul Aru 2s and just the males, let me know and we can work something out. But here we got the bluegrass guppy. That's all them, these, this, and those. These guys are absolutely gorgeous. Usually when the light hits them in the front, when they're coming down, you don't see much of the color, but when that light hits and you get that sheen on them, oh, they're gorgeous. It's like this deep blue, real deep blue. You kind of see it there. a little bit, but they'll get more blue with more reflection. But that's all them here. Then red koi, those red koi, black and red guppies, all here. Then empty. See them? Believe them. They're here. Some of them need their tank scraped. This one's real bad. And then up underneath them, we've got the white lace guppies. More of those because just tons of them. And we got some randoms. This is a project I was kind of working on. Let's see, you guys kind of see the color. It's like a rainbow tiger antler, but with more pink, purple, red, and mixture of whatever that guy is. The female is huge. And some dwarf neons. They have sunken backs. Hence why I haven't really sold any of the dwarf neons, because I didn't know what was going on with the line. I think I have it fixed now, but more dwarf neons. Glossolepis maculosus, a few of them in there. And then under here, we have some funky platies that I had gotten from the club a while ago. Years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. There's actually a Matano rice fish in here. There he is. There's a couple of those in here. That's actually a super rare rice fish. You will not find those anywhere else either right now. And then in here, there's a rainbow. I don't even remember what rainbow's in there. I gotta get him out, figure out what he is. Japanese blue endlers growing out. A bunch of babies of them. And Synergo rainbow fish. I have a lot of those that I have been hoarding quite some time, because it can take a year plus for those to grow out. So when you're trying to feed your family and a fish is taking a year to grow out, big reason why you don't see a lot of them around, besides like the people who just really love them. Red tiger rice fish, but what they look like inside. So if you really want the color out of rice fish, you gotta have radiation and or be outside. Now I wonder how those corkscrew El Silverados, how those corkscrew light bulbs, those CFLs, the compact fluorescents, would work with rice fish because of the radiation they create. El Silverados, that was the tricolor. More Synergos in here. I'm gonna be able to see much of them because all that guppy grass everywhere. That does it for that half. So, making some pretty good time here. We got some original rainbow tiger antlers here. So this is off the original genetic makeup of rainbow tiger antlers. Got a group of them, and then whatever these are called, like calico platies, or they had a special name. I can't remember them though. But empty. These guys, I cannot remember their name either. I need to look it up, but really cool guppy. And underneath them, this tank is absolutely loaded. I was gonna get like a bunch of tetras and different things to share with you guys and move out, but I had realized how hard these are to catch. So there's actually a bunch of Vienna guppies in there with them too. Bristlenose in there. There's actually some Denison barbs, but I have had these in here for quite some time, and a ton of them. And you can see there's no filter. There's really not hardly any plants. A lot of people think you have to have plants to do no filter. Absolutely not true. You can do it without it. It just, the plants create more for the fish and give them something to nibble on, something to swim through. It's just more interactive for them. And when it comes to aquariums, just making them comfortable is what it's really all about. And so plants do play a big part in that. But you can see there's a ton of fish in there, a ton of fish in here too. The reason this tank looks like it does is because of these guys down here, the Matei Cory cat. So if you got dirty sand, no filter. That's what a koi cat is going to do to your aquarium, and that's why I don't keep a lot of them. Once again, hard to catch fish. More Vienna guppies. Then over here are my axolotl kind of grow out. Small, medium, large. Even though you can see this one's kind of medium, he actually should be in the small. It's not very organized. Cute little fella. But then in the small, there's this big old beast in here. This guy I will probably keep. He's just an absolute monster. And the coloration on him. Look at those purple gills. He's kind of got more of that green on him. This dude is sweet. Even though he did try to eat his friend that was in the other tank. I've got a video. It's going to be a short. I haven't released it yet, but that guy had that guy in his mouth. And luckily I was able to save him and get to him in time. Then underneath here, we've got nothing. We've got Endler Mix working on some genetics. There's actually clown loaches in here. They're kind of like the Cory cat with no filter. They just create a mess. You can see all this purple too, which is actually just sulfur buildup. Believe it or not, like these guys are happy as clams in here. Although it's super dirty, these guys constantly eating. It's a male and a female. Main reason I'm even keeping them is because it's a nice pair. And we'll get their tank scraped off. Oh, see, you can see they're like playing with each other big time. But it would be cool to breed these in the future. Big reason why I'm keeping them. But we'll get them cleaned up. You guys will see those later. And then we've got the platinum Molly, which these guys have been not breeding. That one looks like she's about ready. So hopefully they will. I think they were raised up in salt. And so they have been more finicky with the transitioning. And then here we've got a more mix of Endlers. Japanese blue Endlers. There's some of them get this like purplish on them. Purplish and orange. Gnarly. Absolutely love it. Kind of a mix of the blue, but the split tails on them. Very, very cool. Look at that purple. So, of course, that's going to be a more line project. Once again, Endlers add up real quick. And then we got another axolotl down here. A lot of these bottom tanks were axolotls. I've been selling them at the swaps that I have been going to. Oh, no. Oh, no. One of my rainbow fish jumped. So sad to see. Now, I'm not going to pick him up. He's already toast. The cat will get a snack. Doesn't happen very often, but that's sad to see. There is, I think this one has an axolotl in it. I don't know if we're going to be able to see him. I'm not going to be able to see him. Got self-in shiners. I haven't fed anybody yet, so I haven't even been through the fish room today. We'll see more of them here in the other tank. I don't think they left me any babies. We got more of the AOC Dalmatian guppies, 2 tanks of them. More Pagai villages over here. The rainbow fish, empty Clausioensis babies, which they are still like super tiny. Here we go. Going in, you can see back there how itty bitty that little thing was flying around. I did try the Medaka spawning mop, seeing if the rainbows would breed on that. And since it's rougher, if it'd keep them from predating as much on their eggs. So, testing that out. Cato River pair. See them off the reflection there. Cato River pair. And the other guy on the floor is the third wheel of that tank. And then mixed Endlers, mixed Endlers, mixed Endlers, mixed Endlers. Where I was trying to go for certain traits. Haven't had much time to mess with them. So it's a whole hodgepodge. I may clear it out, try it again, see what's in there, and go from there. Because I also got mixed Endlers and mixed endlers. But these guys, I'm going to take a little more time to show these guys off, because although the line isn't very straight, the genetics on some of these, look at that one right there. Oh my God. That's what it's about. If I could line that out, that purple and that yellow, I'd be a happy, happy man. But the reversion rate of a lot of these, as you can see, is it's just so mixed up. So trying to get that to line out has just been a real pain, especially finding the right female. And while we're down here, this guy's looking at me, another axolotl. Hey, little fella, little cutie. Look at him, or her. They mix endlers, come with that red tail. This one is a little more straighter, kind of that purple body, red tail. I think that one that you saw up here was part of that, which I was calling that the Picasso. So the one and the two was different batches of said Picasso endler that I was trying to create. Once again, mix, a mix, a mix, a mix, a lot for different batches. This one is more for this blue endler I'm trying to work on creating. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. It's kind of like this, like, I want to say dullish blue or lightish blue. It's like the rainbow tiger, but mostly blue. Come on, how about you? Yeah. It's hard to get the true coloration there. Kind of seeing there where it's that blue with the yellow. Kind of like the other one with the purple, but it's more blue. I'm gonna throw this camera if it doesn't learn how to focus. Just kidding. That's truly how I feel though right now with this camera focus. Anyways, I do this for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys hit the like button. Here's my brine shrimp tank, no filter saltwater tank. Recently did a video on that, the full talk about. If you guys haven't seen that, it looks like this. And above them, I've got axolotls. I got or no, that one doesn't have axolotls. That one's got an axolotl, that one's got an axolotl. So, all axolotls in there up top. So you can see this tends to be, my auxiliary tends to be axolotls, which up underneath them, a big 125 pogo stimming all over the place. This tank needs its own talk in itself. But this is where I keep my big group of axolotls. See the guppies and endlers, which create a nice natural food source, as well as shrimp in here with them. And plenty of places to hide and play. But their tank definitely needs a scrape off. A lot of that purple buildup, that sulfur buildup. And we'll do a whole clean out, whole talk on that video, or on that in a whole nother video. Then on the other bottom side is another 125. Tons of pogo stimming, pearlweed. There's some womanite crib, and then this has a bunch of axolotls in it as well. Where are they all at? They're probably hiding in the crib. I did recently pull some out, so they are probably being a bit hidey last week, but still they should be out, some of them. Where are you guys at? Oh yeah, here's one. See the little guy? They're in there. And then as far as this goes, this is all pretty much empty. They were axolotls. Rainbow tiger in there, rainbow tiger in there, rainbow tiger in there. And this one is more of a breeding project because it has more of that long fin gene that can come out of the rainbow tiger endler 2.0s. And so I was just kind of messing with that, see what happens. Of course, there's a little grow out over there. So that covers that for pretty much this whole section. Which brings us to, we'll have that, and then the lab here And this is for kind of grow out, separating for breeding. So when you got males and females, sometimes if you split them and then you put them together, they'll breed better. Then also when I get the like rainbow fry, I'll put them in here, which you can see. Some of them are getting pretty big. Matter of fact, I will probably clear all these out here pretty soon and put them outside to try to grow them faster with the heat and the more consistent water changing. But up underneath is their sump full of Sagittaria. It's got the Cayenne Danios. It's also got some random killifish. You can see the female back there. There's a Matana rice fish, a goofy one. This is kind of a retirement tank. Pancheck Sakurami. Once again, swordtail. But beautiful, beautiful tank. Look at that. But I got a pump here. Pumps that all through and kind of keeps the water dribbled and going to help keep these growing. Because the more I can exchange the water for these rainbow fish, the quicker they'll grow. And then under here, I actually have some Geophagus wintermilleri, big fish. There's catfish in here, there's pandagars in here, there's hatchet fish in there. I think there's a denison barb in there. Of course, we're not going to see any of them because the Geophagus keep that water like that. I am thinking about getting rid of them completely, although they are at breeding size. And if I could get them outside, get a space for them, I could get them breeding, but I have not. So, saying that, I don't know. I've been debating it for a long time because there is a lot of fish that I would like to see in there otherwise. Then up above them, a bunch of Sagittaria. This had my red koi angelfish, which are outside now. There's actually a lot of live food in here. Even small Daphne in there as well. Then up above them, we have my barb tank. This is where my mascara barbs were. They are outside right now. And currently still have some Pictus catfish in there. And that's why the water level is so low, is I did have to drop it all the way down to catch those mascara barbs because real pain to catch. And these three tanks up top, real pain to clean. So I don't know. One day I would like to take all this down and get the other barn. I can put all my storage stuff and get this all more organized. I need more tanks. I need more space. Believe it or not. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Empty. This one, we'll go on the back end and talk about this one actually. Because that's where the self-fin shiners and glass catfish are. But up underneath them, we got the rope fish, which we have 4 of them. One of my favorites. You see that little guy? Hey, fella. Which one day, I wish I had just get some bigger tanks for kind of these fish, and then also my Oscar, which I don't know, I've been debating finding him a new home. I've had him for a long time though. He had killed his mate. Usually he'll go out around this time, but he likes to garden his little tank here. He's cool. I don't know, I'll probably still keep him. I'll eventually need a bigger tank for him. Then currently this one is empty. Then up above it, we've got the Tetra tank, which quite a few of those are outside. You can see there's a pencil fish here, barely you can see. There's some ghost sharks in there, Nuri Crip, super green water, bristlenose. There's some catfish in here as well. Let's get on the other side of this tank. I was hoping to see some catfish. Oh, there's a Tetra. Big reason this one's green is because I did pull all the algae out, and now there's just too much nutrient. But here are the self-fin shiners I was talking about. It's a native here in Florida. Get this stripe with some like purple coloring. Oh, here, kind of seeing better over here. There's the glass cats. Really kind of hanging together. I need to get in there and get that algae out. I'm sure it makes them comfortable though, because they can't even see me up front. Looked like that tank was empty, but back here, a whole different story. Then in here, I've got some yohiki rice fish, which I need to put these outside. I just haven't. Because I don't know if I really want to work this line or not with these guys. Just because there's so many lines I want to work. Just having space for certain ones, I don't always have. And then empty. And then my Calirum breeders down here. Melanitania Calirums. Just definitely need to pull some plants out of their tank. It's getting crazy. Dehumidifier for this little hole. And I do have a dehumidifier for the whole barn. A more industrial one. Very important to have a dehumidifier. But then I got the yellow neocaridina, yellow neocaridinas. Then lots of guppy grass and other things. Then the Mostichos Tetra, which this is a pretty rare Tetra. I've had these for like, I would say 7-8 years almost now. Never bred them, but I have had them forever. And mystery snails. Got babies growing out, got some eggs up there. And then some that didn't make it, shells. Mystery snails. Oh, there's also silver tips in here. Silver tip tetras. There was something with them. I can't remember why I put them in here. There was some gene I was trying to get. It's just been so long since I really messed with it. Melanitania subnergos. Bunch of them in there. And empty. Matano rice fish. I just spooked them. There, you can see them back there. These guys, slow grower, Indonesian rice fish, not Japanese. Get pretty big. Be interesting to see if they cross with regular Japanese. I got a bunch of rainbow cichlids in here I picked up from the club. And a random, really dominant male rainbow fish. Hold on. There you can kind of see them. Need to scrape that glass. Frustrating without the glass. There's actually quite a bit of those in there. And then I had some gingarubas in here. I've only got one female left. So that does it for the lab area. Oh, now the axolotl's coming out. What's up, dude? Once again, need to scrape it though. There's another one. Now this section in these tanks can almost be their videos themselves. My trout Goudia tank, which there's some big ones in there. See, there's actually a bunch of shrimp with them as well. But I ended up putting a pump in here, and ever since I put this pump in here, they quit breeding. Now I unplugged it, now they don't have it. I thought they would like it. I thought I'd spoil them a little bit, and then I screwed everything up. But anyways, down here I got Melanitania Goldie-eyed Kai. These are 125s. And then also a bunch of Synodontis catfish. Luckily they think they're hiding. You can see they're getting bigger. I need to put the breeding cup in with them. And the goldfish tank, which could be a video in itself, once again, like I said. Actually started with a few, ended up with a bunch. They've been breeding like crazy in that thing. And that brings me to this wall, which I might as well capture these guys from over here. No, come back. These are the rainbow cichlids. These are more parent type. This is what they look like when they get older. The colors, absolutely phenomenal. Here we go. Look at those buttes. And next to them we got some koi, the longfin koi, which I need to get them outside. And next to them we got the pygmy rainbow fish. Look how red that guy's head is. It is alpha male. I need to move them out and get some babies. I got some babies of them outside, fully loaded with pearlweed. This is loaded with the Italian Val. And then also the platinum koi angelfish, which just need to get them cleared out. I gotta get all that cleared out. Luigi archeata, stem plant, and then the steak endlers. It's again one of my favorites. There we go. Hey, easy fellas, easy, you little brutes. We got Rotalia hurrah. And then there's actually rainbow dace shiners in here with Siamese algae eaters. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see them though, cause, oh, there we go. You got quite a bit, nice color on them. Once again, the tank's just so overgrown, which we'll be fixing a lot of that here in the future. Let me get the top view here. Oh yeah, look at that. It is beautiful. And the striped ones, those are the Siamese algae eaters. Then above them, I've got one Chilinatheria sentiensis male rainbow fish. So I need to get him out. I need to find him a new home. There was two. I sold the other. And hopefully find him a new home. The hardest part is catching them out of there. And next to him, I've got a goldfish, just a random goldfish. What are you doing, fella? He's just chilling. Come on up here. Oh, he does have a tiny bit of duckweed in there. Oh. Fancy tail. Oh, look at this Luigi archeata growing out of here. It's growing up and out. Happens a lot with stem plants. I actually like stem plants for floaters too. Then in this tank is nothing but this pygmy, or this skunk loach, or no, what is this? Can't remember which loach that is. Pygmy chain loach, that's what it is. I had a couple in here, and he's the only one. I don't know if he did something with his others or what, but I need to redo this whole tank. Some of my plants, you can see they're kind of rougher. I don't know if I get algicide that comes in here sometimes. It's a real pain in the butt, but I would like to get a deep well and then hopefully fix all those problems with this crazy water that I have. Then underneath here, we got the black and red guppies. Our trout goodeids, black and red guppies. Tons of them everywhere, super prolific line. This is a mix of some guppies and a Burchard I got in there, which jumped from the top. You'll see their tanks. I don't know how he got there. A little something I've been working on. And then some blue grass guppies, more of those. And we got the daisy rice fish here. And we also got glass cats back there, which is the daisy rice fish. They're gonna go outside. There's those glass cats coming out from hiding. Always good to see them. That's close to my desk, one of my favorites. Then in here we got a bunch of Pandagaras, black and yellow guppies. What was supposed to be Wanamensis rainbow fish, which Wanamensis aren't supposed to have that red. So I had bred that line out. Turns out not very straight line. Happens sometimes. Sucks when that happens too, because you spend a year plus on just seeing what will come of that. Because what will come of the line, because you have to breed them out. You have to keep them, feed them. Takes tank space. It happens. Trout goodeids. That'll probably be my next breeding gen. Empty. This has the Burchard eyes in it, which I don't know if we're gonna see because they're tucked up in those caves. Here we can see this guy in his cave. Oh, well, he just took off. But the Tanzanic and the cichlid Burchardi are in here. Yeah, here. There we go. Burchardi, then this has a Cato River male in it. He's off hiding in the back. Empty, empty, and black and yellow guppies. So that does it for all the tanks in here. You know, I'm sorry you guys for all the unfocused footage. Working with what I can here. Tried to make this as quick as I can for you guys. We will get more in depth now that I'm done with the building of everything back here. And even if I do get another barn, or well, when I get another barn, I will not be putting as much time into building it as I did this. So coming up here in the future, you guys, and if you haven't seen already, there has been a lot more content coming out. So I'm trying to share with you guys more of blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to share with you guys more of what's been going on here, more of what this is really all about. And if you guys haven't seen all the footage that I have from the years that led up to all this and the struggle it's been, I recommend checking it out. Got some more appreciation for it. And hopefully you guys learn more of what is really actually possible with keeping aquariums, and try to help with some of your guys' fears. Because I know there's many fears of, oh, if this happens, my fish is gonna die. Well, you can see with this natural setup, actually makes things super, super easy. And it's why I could keep hundreds of aquariums. So I really want to share, try to open your guys' eyes up to this. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button, that'd be helpful. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Da -da -da, da -da -da, da -da -da, da -da -da.